Parts of Australia have been hit by the worst flooding in a century, and more torrential rain and wind is forecast in the coming days. Days of torrential downpours have caused dams and river levels to surge across large stretches of New South Wales. The Australian Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, has offered emergency funds for those who've been forced to flee. About 1,000 people in the western suburbs of Sydney have been urged to evacuate their homes, and thousands more have been told they need to prepare to leave. From Sydney, Phil Mercer reports.
In New South Wales, officials had warned Sydney was potentially facing a rain bomb. Torrential downpours have turned roads into rivers and fields into lakes. Homes have been swamped and emergency crews have responded to thousands of calls for help. For the first time in years, Sydney's main reservoir is overflowing, putting suburbs at risk of flooding.
We worry about we escape or stay here, we don't know. Just so worry about now. We prepare my handbag and some things so we ready to move now.
Oh, we're just inundated at the moment and the water's still rising. It's come up about a foot in the last hour. This is the worst I've seen it. Last year, just after Christmas, it was pretty bad as well, but not this bad.
There's going to be a lot of people that maybe don't get their houses flooded, but they won't get to work. The roads will be wrecked as well.
Across New South Wales, Australia's most populous state, residents in many low-lying areas have been told to leave. Communities to the north of Sydney have been badly affected.
In parts of the mid and north coast regions which are experiencing the 1 in 100 year event, there's been sustained damage to infrastructure, there's been sustained damage to how people communicate and move around, and I just want to say to everybody in New South Wales who's experiencing that fear and that anxiety that our thoughts are with you and we'll get assistance to you as soon as we can.
Oh my goodness.
Near the town of Taree, a house was washed away down a river by floodwaters. It's a day the owners will never forget. They were supposed to get married, but the bride and groom were kept apart by the floods. The wild weather has delayed the rollout of COVID-19 vaccinations. More storms are expected in the next few days. Phil Mercer, BBC News, Sydney.